a game built around height in so many ways, Bol Bol was like a human cheat code. But fast forward a few years later and Bol Bol hasn't quite lived up to those sky-high expectations. So what's the real reason he went bust?
Cross towards the Bol. Three-point shot.
Bol is the second child of former NBA star Manute Bol. Bol's father played in the league from 1985 to 1995 and was one of the tallest players ever with a crazy height of 7'7" inches. But he wasn't just tall, he was ahead of his time. Boasting an 8'6" wingspan, Bol could snatch boards, drain threes, and effortlessly swat opponents' shots. He led the league in blocks twice, and his 3.3 blocks per game are only second all-time to Mark Eaton. But as we all know, life's got its ups and downs, and when Bol was just 10 years old, tragedy struck. His dad passed away from acute kidney failure and complications from Stevens-Johnson syndrome. But as heartbreaking as it is, Bol Bol took up his old man's mantle, rocking the same physical resemblance and evolutionary skill set that's deeply rooted in his dad's talent. Bol's journey began in 1999 in Khartoum, Sudan, just 2 years after his pops retired. Fast forward to his 4th birthday in 2003, and Bol's dad was already training him for the big leagues. With his dad's encouragement, he hit the gym and trained hard. And by the time he was 7, his family moved to Olathe, Kansas, where Bol played his high school ball. And spoiler, it didn't take long for Bol Bol to make a splash. At just 14 years old in 2013, and standing at a jaw-dropping 6'10" inches, scouts were calling Bol Bol the next big thing. With elite shot blocking and impressive shooting ability, Bleacher Report was already comparing him to a taller Kevin Durant. In fact, the buzz was so real that NCAA Division I programs like Kansas and Oklahoma had already started expressing interest. Then, in 2016, Bol Bol took his talents to California, and man, it was a game changer. The big-time college programs couldn't resist, and offers started pouring in like crazy. Arizona, USC, Oregon, Kentucky, UCLA, everyone wanted a piece of this basketball phenom. The following year, he'd move again to finish his high school career at Findlay Prep in Nevada, dropping an average of 20.4 points, 8.2 rebounds, and 2.4 blocks per game. This performance all but solidified him as the 4th-ranked prospect in the 2018 recruiting class, with many already marking him down as a future lottery pick. However, that's when Bol committed to Oregon and everything changed. Right out of the gate, Bol showed everyone what he was made of. In this debut game against Portland State, he dropped a double-double, 12 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks in just 23 minutes. But that was just the beginning. Bol was on fire, scoring over 20 points in 5 of his first 9 games. This included a remarkable showing against Texas Southern, where he'd up a season-high 32 points and 11 rebounds. At the rate he was going, many projected him as the 3rd pick in the 2019 NBA draft, right behind Zion Williamson and RJ Barrett. But fate had a different plan, and disaster struck as Bol's season took an unexpected turn. In a game against San Diego, he suffered a non-displaced fracture in the navicular bone in his left foot. Just like that, and after only 9 games, his season was over. But then again, it wasn't all for nothing. In his lone season at Oregon, he was on fire from NBA 3-point distance, making an incredible 13 of 19 attempts. Bol Bol was in a league of his own, showing off his versatility and skill, and making a strong case as the best shooting big in the nation. Despite the injury setback, Bol Bol was determined to take on the 2019 NBA draft. But there was a massive question mark hanging over his head after only playing 9 games. First off, there were concerns about his injury and durability. After all, history hasn't been too kind to 7-footers when it comes to their longevity, especially considering Bol Bol is only 220 pounds. His towering height made him stand out, but it also brought challenges as he lacked muscular size and speed. Still, the 7'2" center was seen as a compelling prospect, and many expected him to go high in the draft. But come draft night, it was a shocker. Bol, who was once seen as a lottery lock, slipped all the way to the 2nd round. Fortunately, the Miami Heat snagged him as the 44th pick and quickly traded him to the Denver Nuggets for a 2022 2nd-round pick. Anyways, Bol signed a 2-way contract with the Nuggets, but it only guaranteed him a tiny fraction of what other rookies were getting. And on top of that, he had to split his time with the Windy City Bulls in the G League. But Bol wasn't letting that stop him. He was out there in the G League showing off his skills with the Bulls and dropping buckets. So following a 16-point and 11-rebound showing against the Fort Wayne Mad Ants, the Nuggets decided it was time to let him fly. Finally, on August 1st, 2020, Bol Bol made his NBA debut against the Miami Heat in the NBA bubble. It wasn't all smooth sailing in Denver, but Bol Bol took advantage of the opportunity. Plus, he got to play alongside superstars like Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. But sadly, the coaching staff wasn't sold on Bol Bol's unique skill set. Over his first 3 seasons, he only played just 53 games, averaging a mere 6.2 minutes per game. After being stuck on the bench in Denver behind a veteran cast, Bol was eventually dealt to the Boston Celtics. But before ever suiting up, another trade sent him to Orlando for a protected second-round pick. And at first, it seemed Orlando was the place for Bol Bol to shine. During the 2022-2023 season, he became one of the league's most efficient players. This past season, he shot over 63% from the field and over 75% from the stripe. Plus, against the Timberwolves, he dropped a crazy season-high 26 points, 12 rebounds, and blocked 3 shots. In another game against the Nets, he scored 24 points, shooting 10 of 15 from the field and 3 of 6 from long range. At Orlando, Bol showed a whole new side of himself that had some even claiming he's the real Victor Wembanyama. He started in a career-high 33 games, dropping an impressive 9.1 points per game. He played a total of 70 games and swatted away 1.2 blocks per game. But then, out of nowhere, the unthinkable happened in the offseason. The Orlando Magic waived Bol Bol. And now the question on everybody's mind is, why hasn't Bol Bol earned a long-term spot on the team? And truth be told, we'll never know for sure, but one thing is for sure. This wasn't what fans expected 5 years ago. 5 years ago, he was the darling of the basketball world with sky-high expectations and undeniable talent. But fast forward to today, and Bol Bol has yet to average more than 10 points or 6 rebounds in a season. Barring drastic improvement, he's, at best, a role player for a championship-caliber team. Now, there's no denying Bol's got some serious skills, but there are some glaring flaws in his game. And ironically, one of his best attributes is also one of his biggest challenges: his size. With that 7 foot 2 inches and 220 pounds lanky frame, Bol lacks the optimal build and strength needed to dominate in the NBA. Whether he's on offense or defense, he just doesn't have that physical power to push through defenders and impose his will on the court. In addition, his lateral quickness is below average, which means he struggles to keep up with his man on the perimeter. During his time at Denver, Mike Malone had to rely on much quicker guys like KCP, Monty Morris, and Facundo Campazzo to defend the perimeter. And let's keep it real, his plays are slow, his defense needs much work, and his offense is far from where it needs to be. And let's not forget about his injury history. Those setbacks can mess with any player's development and confidence. Plus, there have been some questions about his intensity and aggression on the court. In some games, he's on fire, but in others, that spark seems to fade away. It's consistency that's key in the NBA, and Bol struggled to find that groove. And here's the deal. Despite all his strengths that made him stand out, these said flaws put Bol Bol's game at a greater disadvantage for teams. It's a balancing act, and right now, the scales might be tipped against him. Regardless, the jury isn't completely out on Bol Bol. He may be a bust for the time being, but he has a chance to reverse those narratives in 2023 with the Phoenix Suns. Now teaming up with KD, D-Book, Ayton, and Beal, Bol has the opportunity to prove all the doubters wrong. And the truth is, his skills are legit, no doubt about it. The only question on everyone's mind is whether he'll step up or continue to prove the doubters right. But one thing's for sure, only time will tell. Speaking of which, if you've enjoyed this video, you'll love our video on Mac McClung. So watch the video, and I'll see you real ones there.